That's weird.
Hooray! Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson. Coming to you from.
And me.
Oh, and Ron. Ron's here.
Yeah. I'm not usually here at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a rare occurrence. We're just messing around with markers.
Oh yeah. You want to show your drawing? We were just drawing right before we started.
Yeah, we got some new markers that are really fancy, so we want to.
Go ahead, show off your drawing.
Here's my thing. Wow. And here's Mom's thing.
And there's my thing. Fun with markers. we were playing around for about 15 minutes before Wisdom Dialogues, before I started preparing for Wisdom Dialogues, getting my computer rebooted and everything. And we played with markers, and it was so much fun. We both completed a drawing. Yay, thank you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Wisdom Dialogues. 4 people.
Yay. Yep, 4 people. We have Jerry and Lauren and Lori and Paul. Yay. Raise your hand if you have any questions. We will begin when we begin.
Press this if you have any questions, but on the computer, press that. Yeah, I know you can't see what I'm pointing at, but press the hand raise. Yeah.
Lori confirmed it's being recorded. Good. I'm glad it's being recorded. Aloha, Jerry. You're on.
Aloha. Where'd he go? It was such a beautiful smiley face on the screen.
He's just right next to me.
I'm right here.
Oh, there he is. Hey, don't run away.
I'm just like right out
Let
of
us
you.
look at you some more.
I'm just like right out of you.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, hiding behind your mama, that's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how is it in Hawaii today? I'm all the way in cold Philadelphia. It is down in the single digits the last couple of days.
Well, we got to the low 60s, so that was really intense.
Brr.
Now the sun is out, and I took my jacket on, which I had over a long sleeve shirt.
You say you took it on?
Oh, off, I meant. I took it off, which I had on.
What would we do if we did not have our children to correct us? Really?
It's wonderful.
Such great. Well, today is my oldest daughter's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
She turned 33 today.
Okay.
And I had lunch with her and her son, my grandson. And it was just, I can't describe it. It's so delicious, so much fun. Oh, and this kid, kind of like your son over there, just such a bundle of joy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a bundle of joy for sure.
What's his name?
Braun.
Hi, Braun.
Hello.
What's new, Braun?
This
is the latest.
That's new.
Wow, very vibrant colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got new markers.
Wow. Good stuff. New markers.
Yeah.
Great. Great. And Hallie, she's 15. She just participated in her first art show. And she actually did a painting. Do I have it here? Oh, I can't show it to you anyway. But anyhow, and it was hung in the gallery. It was just, oh, I tell you, I just love my kids and I love my grandkid, and it's so fulfilling to me, so fulfilling.
Yeah, love is so fulfilling.
Love is so, and I know they're not really mine, but it's kind of fun to think of it that way. Yeah,
Well,
well, what was that?
basically, you know, whoever shows up in your field of experience, that's yours.
Well, I'm glad that you are mine today, and Braun as
Yay!
well.
And you're mine. I love you.
Love you. Ah, well, it was fun raising my hand and talking with you.
I
All,
appreciate you doing that.
all, all the way. I'm halfway around the world.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
Isn't that
like if you believe, yeah,
fun?
you believe that you need to get on a plane for 20 hours to get here, but usually that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what it takes to believe it.
Yeah.
It's not like you actually go anywhere. It's not like
It,
there's a place to go between.
yeah. So there's been this theme of forgiveness going around a lot lately.
Cool.
And, I always thought that forgive was really to give as before.
Nice. I like it.
So giving it back to the way it was before the illusion occurred.
Sure. Very nice.
And and that it's really all about, principle number one, which is always me right here. And and my forgiving has nothing to do with anything other than this projection that I've made that the lie that I tell myself that somebody's done something to me without my permission.
Very nice.
So
and you notice the release that comes from that.
yeah,
For you.
Yeah, freedom.
Yeah.
Stop keeping myself tied up.
Exactly. And then you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to keep on projecting like that.
That's right. Definitely no, I don't have to do it. And then the next moment comes, and the next moment comes, and the next moment comes, and oops, there I am again. Oh, let go.
Yeah, well, you could say it's kind of like muscle memory. Because even muscle memory doesn't come from the muscles; it comes from the mind. But it's kind of like muscle memory in a way that it's been repeated so many times that it's automatic. It's like where your subconscious kind of takes over and you're not real focused on what you're doing or saying. It's like automatic. It's playing the patterns that are known.
Yeah.
It's just like in music. Like, I'm taking harp lessons right now, and I was learning this one song where it seems so simple because it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 all in a row, but it's supposed to be in a certain rhythm, and I learned it in the rhythm that doesn't match what's on the paper. It's not really the wrong rhythm. It sounds awesome to me, but it doesn't match what's on the paper that I'm supposed to be playing, apparently. So now I have to retrain myself to not automatically play it the way I'm used to hearing it. It's the same kind of thing. And the key is practice. This over and over again. Every time you notice that you've gone into that kind of pattern, to just be aware of it without judging yourself for it. And that's really the practice. I've said before, all that's being asked of you is perceiving, and that's happening automatically.
Interesting you say practice. So in order to practice, it almost begs having the situation to practice with.
Well, here it is. Here it is. When you're perceiving in separation, you've made a situation. You've made a situation for yourself, and you've given yourself the time within which to perceive a situation. See? So, and that's really what time is for, is seeing through. And the practice is really just a willingness to see through. In the instant that it seems like something's not wanted or something scary or painful, it's to let that feeling be embraced in that moment, and that's all. It's just an ongoing allowing, and it's you could say it's like devotion. So willingness to be in the truth, even when it seems as if something's really threatening.
Yeah.
And needs you to participate in it as if it's real.
I'm gonna go here.
And and you could say part of that, what I'm calling practice, is when you find yourself participating in an illusion as if it's real, to just allow yourself to be reminded that that's okay. Oh, you want to get in there? Here you go. Yeah.
Now I have a seat.
Now he has a seat.
Well, thank you so much. He looks great sitting there next to you. I like the red and blue, the contrast. Love his smile. Love his haircut. Did you cut his hair?
Well, he just had a buzz and then it grew out.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. He's not really into getting all styled up with the hairdo.
Not today anyway.
Not today. Yes, that's right. Usually it grows out and then we buzz it and then it grows out again.
Ready to go.
Mahalo, Jerry. I love you.
Love you. Much appreciation. And if I have another question, I'll raise my hand.
Yay. Mahalo.
Mr. Paul has a hand.
Aloha, Paul.
Hello. How do you hair?
You are on with Hope and Braun.
Is it gone?
I don't know. I don't hear him, but his mic's on. So maybe he'll come on in a little bit.
Huh.
You can say the ongoing practice is forgiveness if that resonates with you. It's all what resonates. It's not really in the words, So once you see what it means to just forgive the illusion as such, as in it's an illusion, so then I projected it. Then it's not a problem, whatever it appears to be.
I just said restart and laptop.
You did. You're a good co-pilot, Ron. And whatever feeling was held against that illusion that was made, the cause of that feeling gets healed. See? There's the order of these things again. There's the perception, and then there's the feeling that seems to come from the perception. But before that, there's the belief that projected that feeling in the first place. Okay? The perception doesn't come before the feeling. The projection is a projection of feeling. Okay? But the belief does come before the feeling. And where there's forgiveness, that feeling gets resolved. And when the feeling's resolved, it's like there's looking back to the belief and dissolving that as well. And basically, when you see the belief that you've been pursuing, been pursuing thought manifestations of fearful beliefs, the belief in separation, let's say. See?
Belief in separation.
And as you've been believing like that, and that's everyone, because the body is programmed like that. The body is programmed, you could say, to belief. In fact, there isn't a body like that, like a solid thing. The body is a thought construct. It's made up of belief.
All is back.
And belief is basically formed out of thoughts that have been pursued. And it also needs to continue to be upheld by thoughts pursued. So when we stop pursuing thoughts, as in get the feeling sensation, the thoughts are not so meaningful anymore, then those feelings can be calmed down enough to see what's their real cause. And just asking what's the real cause, when you think you're really sure what's causing it. See? I mean, even something so simple as, just to give you an example, say someone steps on your toe, okay? And then the next day, your toe is throbbing. And you think that it's throbbing because someone stepped on your toe yesterday. That is part of the illusion. That looks like it's apparently true. But since there's no time except that which we give ourselves this time. There's really no past or future. It's projected right now. Give the illusion of time. That didn't happen. It's only being projected from right now. There isn't a past. The stepping on the toe actually didn't happen. It shows as a sequence of things, but it's not the truth. And the pain that's being perceived now is only an attack. It's like an ego attack of thoughts.
Somebody stepping on your toe only hurts for like a minute. So
it depends on.
I don't know what you're talking
well,
about.
yeah, you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
I've heard your mouth feel.
Well, it really depends on. It depends on what kind of impact are you trying to make? What kind of effect are you trying to get? What kind of effect do you need off of this? In Braun's case, he doesn't need much of an effect of anything. Seen things just go away, like just be there and then go away, right, Braun?
Oh, it was toe stepping on. That one hurts for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's like nothing. I hear you. Okay, so Paul, I'm gonna go to Paul. Aloha, Paul.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's
Awesome.
the best.
Thanks, guys, for bringing me along here.
Yeah.
So last time I talked to you was a bit over a year and a half ago.
Oh, how awesome. Welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, I was in a new relationship, and she was only available on Tuesdays in town. So that was,
Oh, how wonderful.
and so it was like either you guys or her. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Thank you for going and hanging out with her, Paul. That's awesome.
Yeah. So what's your take on our responsibility for our part in creating a relationship? Because I'm not with her now. I'm thinking, what's my part in creating a partner that I want to be with?
Oh, okay. Well, basically,
I'm gonna go get some water.
they're a reflection.
Girls, eh?
What's that?
I'm making Ron nervous talking about girls.
Maybe. Well, so every relationship is symbolic of one relationship. It's just the one relationship between, you as consciousness and thought. That's how it is in the dream, It's you as consciousness relating with thought. And a person is like a structure of thought. So, you don't need to create the perfect relationship because you are that. You are that already. You're that which you're that which is can express in that way. And express in that way, like all your relationships are perfect the way they are. depending on who you take yourself to be, and who you take yourself to be depends on how you, as consciousness in the dream, are relating with thought. So that's going to be everything. Every relationship that you have with someone is just symbolic, and there's no such thing as failure in the relationship. If it goes on however long it goes on, that's the time you've given yourself to heal the mind together jointly. And then when it's over, it falls away, and people come up with ideas about it falling away, like it's bad, and nothing is ever wrong. It just, there's a separation of bodies, an apparent separation of bodies, but people take it as if there must be something wrong. And who's wrong? And how do I fix it so I like my relationships better in the future? See? So there's a gentler way of looking at the whole thing because it's all one relationship. It's all one relationship. You take it all as one. And just love wherever you are. And all the love is for yourself. It always is for yourself. And that's what you come to recognize, that the person who's presenting themselves to you, the person who's before you, is the one that you're meant to love, you know, just right now. The body that's before you isn't guaranteed to keep coming before you or stay before you for any, you know, stated amount of time. You don't know. It's only this moment unfolding. So when your relationship as consciousness with illusions is you know, is clear of any doubt of who you are in that, then all of your relationships are already exactly as you want them to be.
So if I'm not with somebody, that's the way I want it, apparently.
Yes, that's right.
And then when I want to be with somebody, she'll be there.
That's right. See, the desires that you perceive on the surface, the desires that you perceive are just occurring to you. They're not personal, and they don't need you to pursue them because they're already working themselves out. So, you know, if you recognize that what you've got is always what you want, and wherever you find yourself is awesome simply because it's you.
And what I want, you're using that term loosely because it's not really Paul that wants, it's whatever's working through Paul.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even creating my own desires, basically.
Yeah, the desires are being created, sort of like leading you in the direction of exactly what it is you want to perceive so that you can heal the mind, so that you can awaken from the dream. That's all that it's for. So if you always ask, what is it for? You don't need to get into any of the questions about how can I create a better relationship and stuff like that, because, you know, just loving in the moment, whether you're breaking up or whatever, nothing needs to turn hostile, and all your relationships are perfect. See? In fact, if the person that you're with seems to be becoming hostile, then that's your projection as well, and it's not like a guilty thing at all. You know, if that occurs, and you know, it occurs to me from time to time, and when I'm willing to get the feeling of their hostility, see, because it seems like it's coming from over there, but it's actually projected from here. So when I sense the hostility, have the perception of the hostility, I allow myself to get the feeling of it in my own body's energy field, and then I don't have to react to it and spur it up. Instead it can be diffused. You know, if you're able to relax, you set the tone of all of your relating. So they're all perfect.
So what you're saying is, if I'm perceiving some reaction on somebody's, let's say her end or whatever,
yes,
that's me. So if I can just feel that in
yes,
me, how that feels, then there isn't going to be any reaction or resistance for me. I just have the experience, and it
yes,
can just melt away.
it diffuses everything.
Right.
Yeah, when you diffuse it when you diffuse the hostility in yourself, it diffuses everything. And you know, you could say hostility is any kind of judgment, you know, any kind of judgment about her mind, or, you know, how she's not conscious of something, or whatever the projection happens to be, you know, not pursuing those projections, recognizing that those projections are in fact for you. It's in disguise. It's like you've hidden this stinky thing in her, so she can she can seem to have the disease or whatever. But really, it's talking about you, and you know, there's no guilt to carry anyways. There's nothing wrong anyways. It's just believing that there is that's causing the projection.
So what do you think I'm projecting? Let's say, because when I just kind of saw the relationship end and it felt right, and it just kind of dissolved, and I didn't try to fix it. I didn't want to fix it, and kind of didn't see that coming. And I think she's experiencing like, what's going on, what happened.
Uh-huh.
and just like disappeared.
Okay.
Well, she threw me out, but it's like, she was
Well,
reacting.
we all have our own perceptions, huh?
Yeah.
We all have our own perceptions to see through.
So I'm creating that reaction. If I'm seeing her having that reaction, at least the appearance of it, I'm
Yeah.
creating it, right?
Well, you're not creating it, you're making it up. You can't create anything that denies the truth. But, you're making it up, and that's why it's an illusion, and that's why it's meaningless. That's why it's not like you have to make a thing about it. It's not like Paul did something wrong. Okay? And it's not like she did something wrong either. It's just a mind energy playing out, and if you recognize that that is your projection, her getting kind of like what happened and whatever perception that she's showing to you, you're having a reaction to that inside of your body's energy field. You're having a reaction to that perception.
Right.
So you go to that reaction. And don't even focus on how you're going to respond or anything like that. Let that be inspired. Let that just come to you. And, like I said, all of your relationships are perfect. You can see that one resolve in perfection.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, too. I love you, Paul.
You too.
Aloha. Welcome back.
Yeah, we're in the middle.
Those romantic relationships, they're pretty fun. I love it. I love it when it seems like my husband is doing something to me. Because then I know I'm making that up. And then when it's like, oh, I'm making that up, I see him change.
This is the part between questions where you just randomly talk about things.
Yeah.
Alright.
You want to randomly talk about something too?
I have a very cool cup. It's Scherzer.
You're awesome, Bron. So.
Now there's Anon.
Anon. Yeah, Anon. Yeah. Okay, so Lori's coming. Lori, you're coming.
Hello.
I got Anon and Bob today. How fun.
Okay, so
Yes.
we'll go back to the toe thing.
The toe thing. Okay, that's fun.
Okay.
That's on its
Nobody stepped on the toe,
right.
but there's an idea that somebody did, so the pain comes from the idea.
Well, the pain is already there. The pain is projecting the idea right now.
Wait.
It's always a feeling. It's always from a feeling. So, the belief, first there's the belief in separation. There's a belief that you can be harmed, okay? And there's
Right.
and feeling that comes from that belief. And then all the different ways you can be harmed gets projected. Including all thoughts about it.
Because there's a belief in the body.
Yeah.
Is where the belief that there can be pain.
Yeah, so you don't have to keep on perceiving pain, even though you have evidence of why that pain should be there. Even though you have evidence of why that pain should be there, and like I said before, just deny the evidence.
Yeah,
Even
okay, that's what
you deny it in your own mind that it has any meaning at all. You admit that you're perceiving it. It's not like denial. You admit that you're perceiving it, but you deny that it really has an effect of its own. And recognize that all of the effects are coming from belief. They're not coming from the world. So right now, the mind is, it's like an interpretation is made of the toe, and then the mind projects a memory of someone stepping on your toe.
Oh, it projects the memory.
The memory is always projected right now.
Right, because it's done. I mean, it's over. Yeah, it's gone.
It was it was a projection of another instant, and then it's a projection again, and it's like mist though. It doesn't really have any bearing. The only bearing it has is based on belief in what's being projected right now.
Okay, maybe it'll help with actually having something. I have had this hip thing that's been bothering me for, I don't know, 6 months now. And this morning, I did a meditation for a couple of hours, and I was sitting Indian style on the floor, which automatically causes that pain to begin immediately when I get into the Indian style sitting.
Okay.
And during the meditation, I don't know if I felt into it. I don't know what the hell happened, but there was some kind of release, which that's probably projected too. I don't know, but as soon as you came on Wisdom Dialogues, how long is it now? Half an hour. I'm sitting Indian style with no pain.
Nice. That's wonderful.
But I'm not understanding. It's that there's a belief that something happened during the meditation, but that's past.
Not necessarily like that. It's symbolic.
Symbolic.
The body
Of,
the body is just symbolic of belief. And it's true that, and I've seen in myself where the body tends to express less pain, stiffness, all of that kind of stuff as limiting beliefs are released. Which makes perfect sense since the body is made of beliefs. It's a thought construct.
Right.
It's a projection of belief.
right.
It doesn't even really exist. So as limiting constructs are released, it's like the projection changes. All the projection changes. I mean, especially especially in relating with people. That's what I notice the most, and then also secondarily the freedom in the body.
Can you give me an example of relating with people? What's different?
Well, there's just not there's not any fear of what might happen or how it might go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's and so even things that seem like they might be an issue or a problem, they just are no issue or problem. They're just easy, kind of like the feeling in the body that's easy.
Yeah. I just did a new customer this morning or this afternoon, a hair customer, and when I walked in the door, I had no idea what she looked like or anything. It was all came through Facebook, and there was an immediate connection with this woman, and it flowed. She was so happy with her haircut. She gave me a whole bunch more money than I asked for. She was so happy. It was a beautiful connection. Never even saw her before. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's even like that with with people that you feel like you don't have a connection with, just to be in that experience and feeling all of the different sensations that come along with that, any kind of discomfort and stuff like that, it makes it easier and easier for you to relate, because any of that discomfort that's coming up, that's the gift of awareness for you. So it smooths everything out and allows everyone to just come and go without being, oh no, I don't want to interact like that. Oh yes, I really want to interact over here.
Or I shouldn't have said that. They shouldn't have said that. All that crap.
Because it's all for awakening the mind. So whatever you say, it's like my friend Chitta says, it's appropriate, and he does listen. So aloha, Chitta.
Appropriate. Like
it's all
that.
appropriate.
It's okay. That it's okay has really changed a lot. How simple is that?
Yeah,
No matter what it is, it's okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
All of
simple.
experiences are leading to awakening the mind. How can it not be okay?
Right. Exactly.
It's exactly what we want.
Yeah. Even though the mind says it's not what we want.
Yeah, well, that's really that's not even, you could say that's not even your right mind. They could say that's like your insane mind. It's been
Right.
guided by the ego saying
Right.
doesn't want, and it's and again, it's okay.
Mm.
You could also say that insane mind is ignorant, like a child that just doesn't know.
That's it. That's it. Or like a computer program that's been programmed for da 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 da. It doesn't know any different until some other program goes in,
Yes.
which is what you're doing, is downloading a different program into this mind.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It is fun, and oh God, it just feels so good.
It does.
Mm.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Aloha.
Aloha.
So that made me think about how when a big realization comes, like for instance, how you've been using someone to project your lack onto, like say, your sense of not being enough. You've been using them to look at you like you're not enough. And getting them to look at you like that. And you have a big realization that, wow, I've been getting them to look at me like that. All of a sudden, you could become keenly aware of how you're relating and what the motivation is behind it. Because there's this sense of lack, and then there's this wanting to get rid of it, not knowing that to cast it doesn't get rid of it. So then make it seem like it's coming from out there, and that's causing that feeling. And once a realization like that is had, you could say that's when the practice starts, and it becomes a curious kind of excited kind of energy, like, oh, okay, now what's gonna play out to let me practice in that realm. Lori's back. Lori, your beautiful hand came back.
Okay, so this is a good one.
Okay.
I don't do I am home a lot now. I don't do a lot of work.
Okay. That's awesome.
And there's been a lot of sitting on the couch, a lot of watching YouTube videos, or listening to you, doing some meditation now, which I never would have done years ago.
I know.
There was a big aversion to meditating for a lot, and now I actually look forward to it every morning. Anyway, so all of a sudden, Peter's saying a lot of things like, yeah, you don't know what it's like. I don't get to sit home like you do. And I see that's what you just said brought me right to exactly. I'm projecting that to make him say what I'm believing about myself. Whoa.
And then, and when you get a load of that, and you just watch that play out a few times, you'll watch your response will start to change, and then his response to you will start to change. Isn't that funny?
That's awesome. I am very curious how this is going to play out watching it.
Yeah, it's all energy.
Yeah.
All energy interacting. So when you're relaxed on your, you're not defensive about that.
Right. Which I haven't done.
Yeah. But
I was at first.
Yeah.
I was at first.
Yeah.
Well, it was a clenching of the gut. It's like, ugh, like I was stabbed when he would say it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. That's the whole energy play that's being looked for. That's why, one of my friends calls it a wound ship.
Wound ship?
Wound ship instead of relationship.
Oh, oh, that's good.
because these wounds play off each other, you know.
Yeah.
It's like the ego has a purpose for your relationship, and that is to play off of each other's wounds. And for a lot of people, that's what attracts them to each other, because they're more guided by the ego, so they're attracted to someone that they can play out their wounds with, you know, someone that they can project them onto them and then blame them for it.
Ah, beautiful. Oh my gosh. That is beautiful, really. Once
Aw.
it's seen.
Yes,
holy
yes,
crap.
isn't it the sweetest?
Yeah.
It's really
Wow.
sweet to see that. And then, you know, even when you see your partner playing out any kind of wound, you don't react to it anymore. You just let them play out that wound, and they can see for themselves. And you don't have to try to rush things for them or anything.
No.
You know, just relax and enjoy the show.
Yeah, and not blaming them. That clears up all the resentment. There's no bitter. There's no. Yeah, and that means, I mean, there's so much harmony in the relationship.
Yes.
Oh,
Because you're not holding anything. You don't have to have one of those old person relationships where you're all sour at each other because you've been holding
right,
for each other all this time.
exactly. Then you can appreciate the person
Yeah.
like you did in the very beginning when you first got together.
Right. And whatever you perceive in them, you know, that's a struggle going on, and you can have compassion for that because
Right.
you know life.
What is exactly? Oh God.
So then you're really, you know, that's how your relationship is made into a healing relationship, or what A Course in Miracles calls a holy relationship. See? And it's like it's still considered a special relationship too. What A Course in Miracles calls a special relationship, because there's a husband and wife, mother and child, or whatever you got going involved, where you're playing out roles. But through those roles, through the playing out of those roles, this healing occurs, and that's what makes it a healing relationship.
Oh my God, you just hit the because I wasn't even thinking about my son. My youngest son and I have had, you know, he doesn't understand any of this. He doesn't want to understand it. He's flatly told me,
Why do you want him to?
oh, that's it. I've seen last year. Exactly. This is what happened last year. He said, Mom, I don't need to, you know, flat. And I went, I'm sorry. We talked about this.
Okay.
Well, this coming weekend, I mean, this past weekend, he randomly just asked me to go. I don't know if you've seen you don't probably watch the news. There's a floating disc in the Presumpscot River in Westbrook, Maine, which is not far from here. That's a disc that kind of looks like the moon. It's in the river, and it's spinning in a complete circle. It literally looks like the moon from above.
Neat.
Like the moon landed in this river. It's beautiful. I mean, the depths of the you know, the dark spots and the light spots like the moon. So he wanted to go. He called and asked if I wanted to go see it, and I'm like, yeah. Well, Peter and I, but Peter had something else to do, so it was just me and him, which was perfection. We had the best time. There was no oh my God. I mean, there was something that came up. I read him something that I did with the neighbor, and he's like, why can't you just answer, you know? And there was no defense. I don't even know how it played out. I was trying to tell Peter, but I don't know how it played out, but it was beautiful. No resentment. No, even I was even texting with somebody. He didn't get offended. While we were coming back on the way home, and it was just unreal. I forgot all about that till you just said, because I was thinking relationship just with Peter, but with Taylor too. No.
Yep.
Oh my God. So awesome. What did Ron say?
He said, "Oh my goodness."
Feels so good. Anyway, So
Well-
I thank you from the depths of this soul, whatever, for just sticking with it with me.
I thank you too, my love. Thank you so much, Lori. I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Paul is back. Yay.
So many repeats.
Aloha, Paul.
Same question. That would be a repeat. This is a different question.
It's the same person that was on before.
So when you're talking, I had the question, like, the mind just wants to come home and move beyond separation, or I forget the words that you use, but it occurs to me that we also want to have a good time, and it feels great to create things too.
Okay.
Because I feel a lot of desire to create things, like in my business or music, and so like we're not just here just to come back. I mean, why would we do that whole thing? We could have just stayed there.
Well, if there was a way to get back to sanity, okay, basically it's back to sanity. It's not a place or anything, it's just sanity. There is a way to get back to sanity without having the perception of bodies that die and stuff, then we do it. So, and it's not as if the creating, what you're calling creating, manifesting is what, let's call it manifesting, okay? Because it doesn't really have anything to do with creating. It's an appearance in a dream, okay? The only thing that's meaningful in the dream is love, and that's not something that you can see. So that's not something that you can make with your hands or anything, or make, you could, it's something that's extended right now in this instant, and that's all. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with manifesting. There's also nothing wrong with desire for even, worldly desire. I said before that all desire is only a projection. All worldly desire is only a projection of the desire to awaken. It's only a projection of that, but it's not a bad thing. It's projected so that it can lead you toward awakening through the particulars of your life. And you talked about being happy, that when it's all surrendered to that, when all of your desires are and your motivations are surrendered to that, that's going to make you very, very happy. Way happier than you can attain any desires. And even in the apparent pursuit of worldly desires, that's what's going to make you happy. Pursuing desires without knowing that they are not meaningful one bit is a happy, fun, joyful thing. But if your desires become like idols to you, then there's a sacrifice of your own spirit, sacrifice being made for your own spirit for the desire. So in that way, most people are sort of ruled by their desires, like whether they feel like they're on track for attaining their desires or not. That's what they base their feeling on. See? So it's almost like that desire is ruling.
Versus we're already starting out with, okay, I'm already feeling great, and it's really fun to have things create through me. And I play it like I'm doing it, and I'm enjoying it, but I don't need it to happen.
Yes. So it's just all in the mind. It's not a matter of what you perceive yourself doing or anything. It's just all in the mind, where these desires can sort of take over, and people can get anxious over the desires and use the desires to put blocks between themselves and the ones they love too. See? So it's just a matter of knowing that, for me, it's just knowing that the desire is impersonal, that desire is already coalescing, doing exactly what it needs to do, to lead me along, to have whatever experience, whatever perceptions, whatever meetings are meant to awaken my mind. So then they can come and play, but it's not like, oh my goodness, I have to do something about that.
Yeah, because it sounded like we were giving desires a bad name.
Yeah, I see how that could happen. And that's kind of how the sense of separation, when perceiving these things through a sense of separation, there's this compartmentalizing into like good and bad. Like that's not the good thing to do. Don't do that and stuff. But it's just a matter of recognizing what the truth is. When you recognize what the truth is, then you don't pursue anything that's harmful to you. Because in the first place, you're not going to choose against yourself. You're only, you only perceive yourself to be choosing things against yourself and having them work against you because it's thinking that you can be saved by believing in an illusion. Like, say for instance,
That's it. That's where, because I feel a tiny bit of resistance to what you're saying. I'm noticing it.
yeah.
Because the resistance is to let go of the idea that I'll be saved by an illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's, if you,
get the right clients.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Find the right cure, whatever it happens to be. But you can only be as happy as you can be right now.
Yeah.
And it's not dependent on any illusion being made manifest. In fact, the illusion is dependent on you.
Right. Grows out of where I am right now.
Yes, exactly. You got it.
Okay.
Yay.
Very cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you're cool. Thank you, Paul.
Right.
You're really good at ranting.
Thank you. Ranting and raving over here. So there is a difference between costs and payment. Okay.
I already drink all my water.
Oh, you're a thirsty little dude.
I drink a lot of water.
All right.
I got some more.
Like the idea that it costs something is like you're losing something, you're giving something up. How much is this going to cost me? And I'm just putting that word out as an idea. Maybe you can feel the difference that I'm projecting about between cost and payment. If it costs something, it's like you're at a loss. Payment is more of a playful thing. It's like you're exchanging something in a dream for something. But it's not like you're at a loss, because the source of that thing, the source of that money, funds, computer, computer numbers, transfers, whatever, that's unlimited. So in recognizing that a payment is of no cost to you, it's of no cost to you whatsoever, because money doesn't have any meaning like that. You always have exactly what you need to get the experiences that are necessary, the perceptions that are needed to awaken from the dream of suffering, to awaken from separation. And here's the thing, you don't fully
I feel like you
awaken.
say suffering in every one of these.
You do? Every one of these videos?
Feels like you say suffering in like everyone.
Probably.
It's like, well, your
It's like, they're like 2 hours long, so.
Yeah. But she was like, well, your most used words.
Okay. Cool.
And, like illusion and stuff.
All right. Maybe there's some kind of program that can give us some stats on that.
Or somebody could look through them. No.
They could. Maybe that's you.
No. That'll take way too long. They're an hour each. I'm not looking through that.
Hour to 2 hours, yeah.
I guess there is a double speed button on YouTube, but still. No, like half the time. Alright, continue.
Okay, thank you. So it doesn't take any money to get that. It doesn't take any money to get whatever perception you need. It doesn't take it to get the whatever perception you have coming that you put into the field of experience for yourself. You know, there's no amount that's lacking for you to have that perception. Even if it happens to be the perception that you're not getting what you want. You're not getting the clothes. You're not getting the food even. There could be that. But it's not because of lack of money. It's never because of that. But from making it because of that, you know, that's such a common belief. It's just so common. It's just so common that, you know, it's this idea that you have to do something to get money to buy stuff. Otherwise, you're going to starve.
Starve!
And that's been believed over and over again so much that it's just so common that is the solid truth. And people are waiting for the world to change. But it's the belief that needs to be addressed. It's the belief itself. And that comes down to just right in the moment where it's presented to you in your mind as if it's the truth. You know, you might find yourself trying to find out how to get XYZ amount of money.
XYZ?
Yeah, you know, 1, 2, 3.
Why do I use XYZ? That's coordinates.
Oh. People know what I mean.
That's how you like keep track of your location in Minecraft.
Oh. All right. There's no need to stockpile it, and there's an idea that there's a need to have a certain amount by the time you retire and have a certain stockpile. There's no need to stockpile it up like that. It's okay if it happens, though. That's the thing. It's also okay if it happens, and it can disappear in a moment. It can disappear without any notice at all, and that's still part of what you put into your field of experience that you wanted to give yourself to help you see what you're holding against yourself and feel the effects of that. That's all. So if you'll take money out of it, then you will have so much more energy and ability to focus on what's really being presented to you. And it's not an expectation that you will struggle over money. Everything comes for free, no matter what it looks like on the surface. It's the same thing as if, you know, you have some kind of back pain or hip pain or whatever, wound, anything. It's like, deny the evidence once again. Just deny it. Yes, it looks like that. That's from believing in it.
Access denied.
Yes, it looks like that. You know, a lot of people would say that it looks like if a kid doesn't go to grades K through 12 school, then they're not going to get into a good college. They're not going to have a good life. You know, that's a common belief too. You know, and it's just an ingrained thing. It's just like expected that that's what you're supposed to do. And, you know, that's been practiced for a little while now. It's been practiced for a little while now. And I think we see the results of it. We see the results of acting dependent on money now, too. As if we can't simply share with each other whatever it is that we have. Whether that's done with, you know, So one has money, maybe one doesn't have money, as if we can't just share with everyone. It doesn't matter. We don't have to go after
It is now
the
4
dollar.
o'clock.
We don't have to go after it like that. We can share and love each other without any need to have payment in return. Okay.
Now 4 o'clock.
If money needs to be exchanged, it will be. And that's awesome.
Exchange.
But making it a prerequisite for sharing our gifts closes us off to when we're being guided to share our gifts without any request for payment, without any expectation of payment. And you know, that's a gift unto ourselves. That's always a gift unto ourselves. And we don't really want to miss those blessings, but there's a blindness that comes over when it comes to believing that money is necessary for our survival. That says no, that doesn't work. They don't have the money, and I'm not saying that it's not okay to say no too. I'm saying it. I'm suggesting listening to your guidance. You know what I mean by listening to your guidance. You know, it's sort of like a feeling. Like, say someone comes up and asks you. In my case, hey, you know, hey Hope, I need these essential oils for this particular thing, and I don't have the money, and I need it for whatever they're telling me. It's just a matter of feeling into it. Yes, no, yes, no. You know, you can, and if the answer isn't there right away, you know, a lot of the times it's just right away. It's just instant. It's like, okay, you know exactly what it is. Boom. If you're not sure, feel into it. Just feel what yes feels like. Feel what no feels like without thinking. And that's where you get your answer. Okay? The answer is coming, and the answer is always given. Answer is always given in the form of feeling, but there's a preoccupation with the facts and trying to figure it out and avoiding the feeling sensation. Okay? And listening to your guidance and following your guidance allows you to be generous, but generous in a way that serves all. Okay? There's different ways of being generous, and it's not like any of them don't serve, but they serve the meandering. You know, once again, not making it wrong because it's okay. So instead of taking a straight path, it serves a meandering, kind of like going off to the side a little bit and then coming back. Okay? It serves a little meandering into self-gratification or something like that. It's not the kind of generosity that's truly giving to yourself. Okay? It's more like a projection. No matter what it is that you're giving, if you see those people as less than, okay, and you as the charitable one, that's a different approach. That's a different approach than what I'm talking about. And that's really a projection, and it's not true generosity, notwithstanding how much money or anything else that happens to be given on the surface of things. See, it's always the energy of at play that makes anything healing or making more illusions. Okay? The giving can just simply be a smile, but the giving in that pure sense, where there's no hindrance between you, where there's no idea that person is less than you or better than you, for instance, or different from you. There's no comparison. It's just love. And that's the most generous thing. That's it. And all the generosity is to you. Not forgetting an image of being a generous person, but all of that generosity is a gift to you. It's a gift onto you. And you can sense the freedom in giving to yourself without a fear or an expectation that you need something in return. I see a lot of that when it comes to this manifestation vibe. You know, it's a lot of, energy, equal exchange of energy. Well, that's a nonsense thing. That's a nonsense thing. There's not, it's not like that, because the whole projection of everyone and everything, it's a projection. Whatever energy is available to be used, it can be used. Whatever energy is available to be used, and it's like everyone is having a different perception of how much energy is available, and to expect everyone to have to operate on a certain level of giving as you perceive it, it's just going to result in conflict and confusion between people. That's not going anywhere anyone wants to go. Okay, trying to make everything equal. I've also seen that kind of energy in relationships where, oh, you bought that? How much did that cost? Okay, now I get something for that amount of money. Or, oh, you gave me an orgasm the last time we have sex, now I give you one. Or I did it last time, so now you're supposed to. That's all stuff that's made in separation, and it puts a lot of mind energy into relating that's not really necessary. Keeping score it keeps you out of that sense of just being. That sense of just being and giving of yourself freely without any expectation of having anything in return. See? I had the perception of, well, my son turned 17, my big son turned 17, and I got him an electric guitar. It is awesome. It is so sexy, and it's got, of course, an amp to go along with it. And when he got it, he was so surprised. He really likes it. Then he felt bad about it because he was afraid that he didn't play it enough, and told me he didn't want it. And I said, well, I can't return it, so it's just going to stick around. and just letting him know that, hey, it was a gift. It was beautiful giving it to you. You don't have to like it. Maybe you'll like it later, maybe not. But there's no expectation that something's supposed to be done now because that gift was given. See? It's not like I need to get my money's worth. A similar thing, when Braun was in soccer, he was a little tiny dude. He wanted to play some soccer, and I signed him up for soccer. And he tried it out for 5 minutes, and he said, nope, that's not for me.
That first practice was so boring.
I
got into it later, though. The later seasons were really fun.
Yeah, you had a lot of fun your later seasons.
Yeah.
But he just decided he didn't want to do it anymore, so I let the coach know, the first day he's dropping out. And, it's not like now that I did all that, I filled out the paperwork and spent the money and did all the things, that now you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to play soccer. Like, no, that's not what things are for. For me, that's not what things are for. It's all just part of the experience. It's not all just part of the show. It's not to try to make people hold true to their commitments. I've heard that one. If anyone wants to hold true to their commitments, they will. They will. Because they want to, because they value that commitment. But forcing someone to value something isn't going to be of any value to them. It's not going to help them out. The second year of soccer, but Ron, remember you had the coach's son coaching? Coach's son coaching. Well, the first day the coach's son was there, Ron came right back in the car. He's like, I'm going home. And I go, why? He's like, I don't want that coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't even remember the coach from that.
You don't remember that coach? Yeah, it was the second season. Then the next time soccer comes up, maybe 2 days later or whatever, we go, you want to go to soccer? And he's like, yeah. Shows up over there, and show up, it's the sun again. He's like, I'll go try it out. He went out there, and he got on the soccer field, and then he was into it. After that, he was into it. But he was into it on his own. He was just into it on his own time.
This most recent year, the coach is really, it was a good coach.
Oh, yeah, that
But
coach
the
is amazing.
secondary coach, on the other hand, was like the worst coach ever.
What did he do?
He's like, why? That a secondary coach is like awful.
Well, he seemed like he was a little bit stressed compared to the main coach.
Yeah, like he made us do like 9 laps because as we were messing around a little bit. Like
Come on, you guys behave.
once that happened, I just left. Like, gone.
Yeah, then he just then Braun just left, and the season's over for Braun once that happens.
No.
Oh, you left. You didn't leave the season. You just
No.
left that particular practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And any other practice with him.
Call ahead of time. Who's the coach for practice?
No, I just show up. If it's the wrong coach, I would just leave.
Just leave and find something else to do. We drive 40 minutes to the field, but there's other stuff to do down there. So hooray, everyone. If anyone has anything for me, please raise your hand. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about. We'll see if anything comes up.
Did a good job ranting, though. Nice job.
Thanks.
You
never know. You never know. Some more rants might come. I'll just sit here for a minute.
Yeah, round of applause. Round of applause, everybody.
Thanks, Braun. Fun audience. Hooray for innocence, and all are innocent. Yay.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right, if no one has anything else for me, I'm going to close out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Goodbye, everybody.
WisdomDialogues.org. You can check out all the videos there. If you want to join and talk with me on Wisdom Dialogues online, go to Wisdom Dialogues. No, that's not it. Go to Facebook/groups/Wisdom Dialogues and join there. Yeah, thank you too. Everyone's saying thanks to Hope and Braun.
Also, you can just search Wisdom Dialogues on YouTube. That'll work too.
You can also search Wisdom Dialogues on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or you can just go wisdomdialogues.org and it'll just put you right on YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, we have a beautiful essential oil company called Miracle Botanicals. I think I have a couple. Forgiving, it's one of my blends. It's one of my favorite blends. It's got Hawaiian sandalwood in it, and Damiana and myrrh. It's very sweet. So is Enchanted. I got the sweeties today. Mahalo. I love you. Thank you, Lauren. MiracleBotanicals.com for the best essential oils in the world. That's right. Thank you so much for joining. I love you and have a beautiful week. Aloha and a hui ho. Goodbye. Goodbye.